Hello guys, welcome back to our platform guys. Thank you guys for those people who are supporting this channel, and I welcome you guys for the newcomers, and I just say subscribe to this channel in case you are a newcomer. Guys, there is a story here I just want to share with you. This is from Dr. Erikana Chombori. This is the lady who used to say the truth, what is happening here in Africa, how we countries of Africa are being oppressed by the West. This is a story that has made me to share with you. This is about the France, how France is oppressing the African nation that he colonized. Just listen to this and we proceed on.
Between 1958 and 1961, France did something absolutely horrible. France made the Francophone African countries, and I don't even want to use that terminology, but I only use it for the purposes of conversation. The 14 countries which were formally, but still colonized by the French, they were forced to sign a document that they called the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. You heard me. The Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. If you want your independence, you must sign this. Guinea, Secretary said absolutely not. Mali said absolutely not. France, pack your bags and go on back home. France could not believe it. Could not understand that an African country, these monkeys, do not want to be affiliated to France. They said, we will show you. So history tells us France went into those two countries, took everything that they thought they had brought to those two countries, including the last teaspoon and chair, proceeded to pour concrete into the sewage pipes, completely devastating the two economies. The then newly appointed president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, in his efforts to rescue these two economies, created the first ever union of any African states, Ghana, Guinea, and Mali. But what that did was it made the other African countries realize that if they go against France, this was the fate that was waiting them. So what did they do? Wait the paper. And they signed. What did the pact say? One. The pact said, you monkeys, you don't know how to manage your money. So you shall deposit 85% of your bank reserves with the French Central Bank under the control of the French Minister of Finance. And that France is going to take your deposits from the individual countries, pool them together, invest them in the French stock market under the French name. And you, monkeys, you may or may not know the returns. Latest figures are showing this is still going on since 1958. France today is collecting out of Africa over $500 billion before investing. And when they finish investing this money, for every 14 billion out of Africa, they're recognizing over 300 billion. Now do the math. So when it's actually said and done, France is taking out of Africa trillions of dollars every year, and we, the poor Africans, are gladly giving it to France. And the same France has the audacity to look at us and call us poor people. 1958. They went further with the pact. You say, we will also print your own money. We will print your money for you. They instituted what they were calling the CFA, special currency for the African countries, and that only France can print that money for you. They went on to say all the contracts, large contracts, public and private, French companies have the first right of refusal. All your minerals discovered, yet to be discovered, France has the first right of refusal. Now, my brothers and sisters, if one of you was to wake up one morning and you're president of one of those countries, and your chief of staff walks in first day and starts reading you out the do's and don'ts as stipulated by the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization, what power do you have? None. And the same countries that are stealing from Africa, they have the audacity to look at Africa and say, Africans, what's wrong with you? Why can't you all take care of yourselves? Well, let's start by leaving our $500 billion on the continent. But what they do instead, they want to throw you with a smoke screen. Your African leaders are corrupt. Well, you know, I gave you that. I mean, not all African leaders are corrupt. Africa is a family. No family is complete without crazy Aunt Sally and crazy Uncle Tom. Nobody's perfect. Okay, fine, so I'll give you that. Their own figures are saying 50 billion is getting out of Africa from corruption. Fine, I give you that. But you do not want me to engage in a conversation that's solely limited to the $50 billion out of Africa through corruption. First, you don't tell me where it's going. You simply tell me it's getting out of Africa. But secondly, there's a bigger thief. You got two thieves, one with a briefcase with 50 billion and the other thief with a briefcase with 500 billion. I am a smart woman. You want me to ignore the one with 500 billion and put all my energies on a suitcase with 50? And by the time the one with 500 billion is done investing, we are talking trillions. Now, do you see how quickly the funds out of Africa from corruption become the larger chunk under the table? And they want you to stay under the table. So you never have to talk about what is on the table. We must wake up, Africans. We must think about our situations. How did we get here? Are we willing to let France...
Okay, hope you've seen on how the France is intimidating the countries which he colonized. You see some of the amount of money that are going to France, some of the money that are going to France after we have sold the products that are in Africa, whereby the minerals that are being extracted in Africa, most of the money, total of the money are going in the Bank of France. So this France has gained a lot here in Africa. That's why you see the France don't want to see any country like any country in West coming to realize how they have oppressed and how they can get out from the oppressive of France. You see it country like Burkina Faso, where you've seen Ibrahim Traore decided to give pathway to do away with France and decided to manage itself the minerals that are there in Burkina Faso. And you see how France is following up, how France don't want to let Burkina Faso or to proceed on alone without being considered like the country to come in and control that Burkina Faso. You've seen how the doctor have said the amount of money France is taking out from Africa. Most of those countries that have been colonized by the France, some of the billions of money are being taken out by France, leaving those countries being helpless, leaving those countries being poor. So this is how Africans countries that have not been realized that they are being colonized, they are being oppressed, they are being discriminated, is now still being discriminated by the France. They are now still being oppressed by those nations that were there, that were colonizing those countries. You see some of the amount of the money France has got. We African, we have a lot of resources which can make the countries here in Africa to be rich. We have a lot of resource like you see gold, you see uranium, you see copper, you see oil, but we gain nothing from those resources, simply because the countries which they are being called superpower countries are coming in and get away with those resources. They're coming in, extract the resources, and go sell it and benefit themselves. All the money that are used to sell the resources, they take them in their bank. So this is not good for the African to be poor, yet they have the resource. And France, we need all African countries. We need all African countries to be like Burkina Faso. We need all African countries to rethink and have a leader like Ibrahim Traore. The way we had some of the leaders like Mohamed Gaddafi. We had the leaders that were eager to change the living standard of our African nation. They were eager to come out of this colonization and form a Pan-Africanism so that we can liberate this nation to be the best nation where the people or the resident of each and every country to benefit on what they have. Country like you see Liberia, we saw in Liberia, a country like Liberia was extracting oil. Then Liberia, most people who are staying in Liberia were used to get small percent of oil which was sold from that country. Then the West saw it and decided to eliminate Gaddafi, because they feared that in case all African people become rich, the West will become nothing. The West don't want to see African nations becoming rich, because they think like, and they know that they will not be having a place where to come and oppress, where to come and get those resources that are there in those countries. So this is what it has been said, how France has oppressed this African nation, how France has been looted in these African countries, and this is how France is trying to make sure that all the leaders that are leading in these nations are their puppets, the leaders whom they can say something to them and understand, other than a leader like Ibrahim Traore, who can not understand everything from them. So hope you've understood on how France has done to African nation. And guys, remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do upload any story, you'll be the first one to view.